When we say death, most people imagine a finale, a full stop. But what if it's not a period but a comma? What if death is merely a door that never fully closes? In cultures around the world, from India to Siberia, the same idea echoes again and again. The soul is eternal, and the body is just a temporary shell. When one body wears out, the soul leaves it and seeks a new one, like a traveler changing clothes to continue their journey. Thousands of near-death experiences hint at this mystery. People describe strange states, seeing their own bodies from above, hearing doctors' voices, feeling peace, and then a flash of light, a corridor, and a return. It means the circle wasn't closed, the door opened, but didn't let them through. And that's the difference. It wasn't a new life, just a glimpse behind the curtain. A brief reminder that the material world is not all. Reincarnation goes deeper. It's not almost died and came back. It's a full transition from one body to another, from one scene to the next. Today a person may be a scientist, tomorrow a farmer in a rural village. 100 years later, a child in another culture on a different continent. That's where the mystery begins. Why do we sometimes feel like we've known someone forever, even if we just met? Why do some people immediately feel warm and familiar, while others cause tension from the very first moment? Could these be echoes of old meetings? Imprints of the soul's previous stories? Reincarnation might also explain why a child is afraid of water without ever seeing the sea. Why someone is born with a gift for music, as if remembering something from centuries ago. Why a little boy might talk about battles or names he's never heard. If death is a door, then reincarnation is a hallway of many doors. We step out of one and almost immediately into another. No one knows what role awaits, but something stays the same. The soul, playing in an endless theater. When we speak of reincarnation, many smile skeptically, as if it's a fantasy or self-delusion. But some stories are too difficult to explain away. In the 1960s in India, a girl named Shanti Devi, just 3 years old, claimed her name was different. She said she had a husband and a child, and had lived in another town. At first her parents laughed, until she gave specific names and addresses. They took her there, and they found that indeed a woman of that name had died during childbirth several years earlier. Her husband was still alive, and Shanti recognized him. She knew private details about the house that no outsider could possibly know. A similar case happened in the US. A boy named James began screaming at night from nightmares. He described a burning plane crashing into the ocean, calling himself Pilot James. Research showed that a WP pilot named James Houston had died exactly that way. The boy knew the cockpit details and could point to the crash site on a map, later confirmed by divers. In England, a woman named Jenny Cockle claimed since childhood that her real life was in Ireland, where she was Mary Sutton. She described a village, streets, her house, even her children's names. Years later, she traveled to Ireland and found the grown-up children, the very ones she remembered. They were shocked. She knew intimate family details no outsider could know. They accepted her as their mother in a new body. Another case comes from a Russian community in Lebanon. A 4-year-old boy began recalling a past death. He claimed he'd been killed by a blow to the head. His details were so precise that his parents brought him to the village he described. He pointed to a house and said, "This is my home." Locals recognized the story. A man had died exactly that way. The boy even named his killer. On his forehead was a red birthmark, in the exact spot where the deadly blow had struck in the past life. Dr. Ian Stevenson, an American psychiatrist, spent his life collecting such cases. His archives contain over 2,500 stories of children recalling past lives. He documented dates, names, places, and cross-checked every detail. In many cases, the accuracy was so high that coincidence seemed impossible. Children described objects in homes they had never been to, but those items were later found, just as they said. Hearing such stories, our first response is amazement. But the real question is, why? Why does a soul return again and again? Why not live once and rest forever? From a mystical view, reincarnation is learning. The soul is a traveler, collecting experiences across lifetimes. One life teaches love and loss, another, pain and betrayal, a third, creation and inspiration. Imagine it like a school. The lessons are different, the teachers change, but the goal remains: to become whole, wise, and to break free from the matrix. The tunnel of light seen in near-death experiences. It's not heaven's gate, but the entry to another cycle. Some return their exam unfinished. Others move on, choosing a new body, new era, new challenges. The key question is this: what if your thoughts, actions, and choices today are already preparing your next life? An ancient belief says that before each reincarnation, the soul stands at a crossroads. It's shown glimpses of the coming life. Not a full movie, but flashes. Parents' faces, city streets, shadows of trials. And in that moment, it chooses. Why do some souls pick wealth while others choose poverty? Why does one enter the world in a sick body, another in strength? Mystics say it's no accident. The soul doesn't seek comfort, it seeks experience, especially the one it hasn't yet lived. Some souls come to learn power, some to feel love and grief, some to find joy and simplicity, even without wealth. Yes, sometimes the soul chooses suffering, because pain burns away illusions and opens the eyes. Esoteric teachings describe a beautiful metaphor. Before incarnation, the soul stands over a map of possibilities, countries, eras, families, bodies, and it points, that one. That's where I'll grow. That's why we meet old souls, children who seem like they've lived 100 lifetimes, because they have. So now ask yourself, if all of this is true, what did your soul choose? Many ask, if reincarnation is real, why don't we remember our past lives? The secret is, forgetfulness is not a bug. It's part of the design. Imagine you're playing a video game, but you carry over the memory of every previous run. You'd already know all the traps, all the forks in the road, all possible outcomes. Would it still be fun to play? Unlikely. That's what life is like. By forgetting the past, we're given a chance to live with a clean slate. Sincerely. As if for the first time. The soul doesn't bring facts, it brings imprints. Habits, tendencies, fears, talents. Someone who was a musician in a past life might pick up an instrument with ease, even without training. Someone who was betrayed might feel a deep pain at dishonesty, without knowing why. These traces become our compass. The soul knows far more than the mind, but still gives us free will. There's another theory. If we remembered everything, the weight of those memories would be unbearable. Imagine carrying every mistake, every loss, every death, every broken dream. Our consciousness wouldn't survive such pressure. That's why the memories are erased, but the experience remains. It becomes part of our essence. We don't know the past. We feel it, deep inside. And maybe that's the wisdom of the system, to let us live each life as a new book, leaving only quiet clues between the lines. Sometimes, though, the system glitches, and the veil of forgetting lifts, just a little. That's when a person suddenly encounters something they cannot explain logically. One of the most common experiences is déjà vu. You find yourself in a new place, but it feels like you've been there before. You know what's around the corner. You sense the air. You know what someone's about to say. Science calls it a memory glitch, but many researchers believe it's an echo from another life. A moment when the soul recognizes a familiar scene. There are other signs, recognizing people or places. Someone travels to a foreign country for the first time, but navigates it like they've lived there before, knowing the streets, the scents, even the language. Or they meet a stranger and instantly feel, I've known you my whole life. These are often called soul connections. In esotericism, they are seen as unfinished stories from past lives. And then, there are dreams. Dreams so vivid they feel more real than waking life. You see yourself in different clothes, a different era, surrounded by different people, yet you know, it was you. When such dreams repeat over the years, it's like consciousness saying, This was your old script, remember. When people begin to recall past lives, it's easy to get obsessed, digging into books, regressions, other people's stories. But the most important thing is to remember, these flashes aren't meant to build a new religion or a cult. They're meant to help you better understand yourself, here and now. There's no need to obsess over every detail. Who was I? Where did I live? What matters is how you feel, and what it teaches you. If a memory brings peace, clarity, or understanding, it arrived at the right time. If it causes fear, anxiety, or obsession, maybe it's better to let it go. The soul never makes mistakes. It reveals only what you're ready to see. The rest will come later, or not at all. And that's okay too. And here lies your main choice. Will you use these signs to grow, or turn them into a new illusion? Because in the end, it's not about who you were, it's about who you are now. Thank you for being here, for your awareness. You are the best. I wish you clarity, peace, and inner strength. See you in the next video. Take care.